Hello, this is Cameron Humphreys from Humphreys Outdoor Power. Today we've got another wet, rainy day, which is going to bode well for all of our grass come this spring, but it means we're inside, and I wanted to take this time to look at a couple lawnmowers, specifically the Kubota Z700 series. We're going to look at the Z726 and the Z781 and see what the differences are between them. So hit like, hit subscribe if you want to see more of this content. But for right now, we're going to dive right in, so let's get after it. These two machines have a lot more commonalities than they do differences, so we're going to dive into those first. First off, they're on the exact same frame. You can get both of these models in 48, 54, or 60-inch cuts. The decks are completely fabricated with 10-gauge steel, and they're 6 inches deep, which allows for good airflow underneath, which is going to pick that grass up and give you a good quality cut. Sealed bearings on both, which has kind of become the industry norm, but it does mean less greasing. Now what we would recommend with that is fewer pressure washers on them and more blow drying. So take your leaf blower and blow the top out. That gets really easy with their easy access panel, which you can pop up right here. For easy access to that deck, you can check your belt, make sure there's no debris down there, and blow that off with the leaf blower to make sure it's clear of all debris. One of the other cool features with this machine is the deck lift system. So the way this works, if you shove this pedal forward, you've got a locking mechanism right here. So if you're a commercial cutter and you're going on and off the trailer, you can shove this forward, flip that switch, this locking switch down, and it'll lock itself up into a storage position to where you can run it up on the trailer. Now when it comes time to actually do your mowing, you can set your dial height right here, which goes in 1/4 inch increments from 1 inch to 5 inch. So we're gonna go ahead and set it at 3, which is where everything around here leaves ready to cut. You press this forward, release this locking mechanism, and now I'm back down to 3 inches. Now, while it's not actually hydraulic lift or it doesn't have a cylinder or anything, it's really, really easy, really well fulcrumed out to help you pick that deck up without much effort. If you want to change deck heights on the fly, simply push this forward, turn your dial to whatever height you want, say 3.5, and now our deck's down to 3.5 inches. One of the other cool features is the parking brake. So Kubota is kind of against you bending down ever, so one of the ways around that for the parking brake, you press right here in front of you. The left side is to release the parking brake, and if you hit both pedals with the same foot, it'll lock the parking brake. These levers are completely customizable. Right here you can adjust them to make them come up or down depending on your personal preference or height, weight, all that kind of thing. You can also angle them forward and back. And then one of the cool features they have are you can actually adjust these dampeners so you can control the resistance you feel while you're driving. So completely customizable driving experience, which is awesome for a commercial machine like this. Both units are going to sport an 11.6 gallon fuel tank, so you shouldn't be running out of fuel anytime soon. Both units also have the Parker HTG14 transmission. So the top speed on this guy is going to be 11.2 miles per hour. That's not going to change whether you've got the 726 or the 781. They're both going to fly. One of the other reasons why we at Humphreys personally like these units so much is because of the way they're manufactured. They sit lower to the ground, they're wide, which makes them an excellent hillside machine. Now zero turns in general aren't very good on hills, particularly wet, steep hills. This, however, seems to be the best one we've ever sold, and we've sold almost all of them at one point or another. This thing's kind of we deem it our mountain goat because it'll do what a lot of other zero turns can't, simply because it's sitting so low and so wide. Again, it's not perfect by any means, but it's about as good as any zero turn on the market. One of the other cool things that both of these units have is the awesome suspension seat. So as you can see, I can bounce up and down on this, but you can also adjust it right here to give yourself more tension or less tension depending on your weight and your preferences. This is making for a really comfortable ride. Kubota has also made maintenance on both of these machines very easy. So obviously with the Kawasaki, we've got the air filter that's easy to get to. The oil filter is easy to get to. It's got a drain plug. But one of the cool things is if we flip this seat up, we've got easy access to our battery right here. Most of this is fuel tank, but then our fuel box is right here. So again, anything that you really need to get to at any one time, they've made pretty easy to get to. And then the other nice thing is both of these units have easy access to your transmission overflow tank. So you can take a quick peek in there. As long as you see fluid, you know you're good. You'll want to check that before each use to make sure that you've got enough transmission fluid. Looks like this one's ready to go. Probably the coolest feature that both of these share is the fact that they both finance right now from Kubota at 0% for 60 months. Now, I don't know when you're watching that video, I don't know how long that's gonna last, although they did just extend it. So we know for certain it's gonna be through the end of March. But that gets the payments on both of these machines very, very low. So the main differences on these machines are gonna come down to the engines. The 726 is gonna have a 25.5 horsepower carbureted Kawasaki FX801V engine, which is an awesome machine, commercial grade in every way. We've been selling them for a long time and they've been running for a long time. The big difference is when we come to the Z781, we've got a Kawasaki FX850V, and this is a 29.5 horsepower EFI engine. This is going to help you with fuel economy and obviously power output. Not to mention, whenever you turn the key, you don't have to fiddle with a carburetor, you just turn the key and you're off to the races. One of the other cool features with the 781 is you can get it direct from Kubota with these twill tires. Now, like I said before, it's the exact same frame as the 726. So we can also swap these tires out on the 726, but you can actually buy a model that's already coming from Kubota with the twill tires. Now, it does come at a little bit higher price point, but it is a little bit cheaper than if you were just to swap these tires out for the twill ones. So it's kind of a cool feature they've got. The twill tires so far have been lasting really good for us. They're, like I said, a little bit more on the expensive side, but you don't have to worry about flat tires. The other major difference we're going to see is because of that EFI engine, we're going to get a little bit more of a technology package with the Z781. So we've got an IntelliPad, which gives us all of our safety features on the right and all of our engine warnings on the left. If we turn the key here, you can see that light up. Whenever I'm all green on the right, it means that I'm ready to start the engine. All my safety requirements have been met. And on the left, it's going to give me any warnings, low fuel, low oil, overheat, no battery, all of that thing. One of the other cool features with the 781 is I've got this switch down here. And with that, on the LCD monitor, I can switch between the engine load level, which displays the current engine output, and I can switch between the metric, which will give me greater fuel economy. And I can monitor both those things. So as a professional, if you're out, you can decide whether or not you want to focus more on your engine output, your horsepower, your load, all that stuff. Or if you're a little bit more conscientious about your fuel economy, you can monitor that as well. Moving over to this side, instead of your regular throttle, you've got a dial throttle. So it tells you exactly where you need to go to start the engine, for a soft start for that clutch, to engage the deck, and then you can go ahead and crank it up to full bore after you've started. On this side, because we're missing out on our carburetor, we've got an extra storage panel here with a 12-volt plug. So when it comes down to it, you're going to get a lot more technology on the 781, and you're also going to get a more fuel-efficient engine as well as a more powerful engine. Now, that doesn't mean you should sleep on the 726. We've sold bunches and bunches of those over the years, and it's proven time and time again to be an awesome machine. This is just basically the 726 2.0. This technology does come with a little bit of a price increase though. The Z781 is around $1,500 more than the Z726. However, with both units financing at 0% for 60 months, that comes out to around $27 per month, give or take, depending on your sales tax. So $27 to $30 more a month. Is the technology worth it for you? That's for you to decide. So this has been our comparison of the Z781 and the Z726, both amazing lawnmowers. If you like this content, please like and subscribe. Leave us a comment on the bottom which one you prefer, and leave us a comment on any future videos you might want to see. Thanks, have a wonderful day.